The port of Los Cristianos in Tenerife. Early morning of the 10th of January 2020. In half an hour we will be boarding a ferry to the island of La Gomera. A natural paradise, home to species that have disappeared everywhere else. The weather is perfect and we are excited to visit this small island in the Canaries, one of the few we have never been to before. The small island was a bit of a mystery as we never found time to visit during our short holidays to Tenerife. But this time we stayed for a month, so no more excuses. Normally, we wouldn't choose an organized tour when on holiday. We like the freedom of exploring new places, wherever and whenever we want. But this time we decided to visit the island of La Gomera with Jesus Excursions. 9 o'clock departure.
We are going to La Gomera. So far everything is very well organized. The weather is nice.
It's going to be -10.
No. Start again.
The main reason for choosing an organized tour were the cost and the stress-free experience. We paid €50 each, which includes ferry tickets, €40 if bought separately, air-conditioned bus, wine tasting, Oliveira Farm visit, lunch and visit to Garajonay National Park. Two companies operate the ferry crossing between the islands, Naviera Armas and Fred Olsen. We travel with Armas, which covers the distance of 39 kilometers in 1 hour, a bit slower than Fred Olsen, but the ship was spacious, clean and comfortable. We arrived at San Sebastián de la Gomera, which is the island capital. Charming small town, which we will have the opportunity to explore in the end of the tour. 56. The bus is waiting for us. So far, so good. You can already feel the magic of the beautiful and dramatic landscapes apparent from the very beginning. La Gomera is the second smallest of the Canary Islands after El Hierro. It lies about 1,000 kilometers from the Spanish mainland and about 370 kilometers from the African mainland. It's measuring barely 20 kilometers from the north to south and it has less than 25,000 inhabitants. In comparison, its neighbor Tenerife has nearly 1 million. La Gomera has a rugged coastline with small black sand beaches and it's a paradise for nature lovers. Its wild, mountainous landscape is packed with contrast. In just a few kilometers, you go from palm-covered valleys to big canyons, from coastal areas with waters ideal for scuba diving to fascinating forests rich with vegetation. The volcanic origin of La Gomera is still very visible. In the middle of the island grows the largest still connected laurel forest of the earth. It belongs to the Garajonay National Park, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986. The highest elevation of the island is the Garajonay of the same name, with a height of 1,487 meters. The inhabitants of La Gomera have an ancient way of communicating across deep ravines by means of the whistled speech called Silbo Gomero, which can be heard 2 miles away. This whistled language is indigenous for the island and it has been documented since Roman times. We will be able to see a demonstration of the language later in the tour. The first stop is el Parque Etnográfico de La Gomera, where local food and wine can be tasted. There is also a small shop and a cafe.
The wine is getting only from grapes. Here from banana grapes. It's a little bit sweet, this wine.
Cheers. What we're drinking?
Vino La Gomera.
Interesting thing.
La Gomera sauces.
Any good?
A little bit garlic. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Good? What is that? Sweet? Jam?
Sweet is very nice.
Eating again, are we?
More food, papaya and cactus.
Thank you very much. Not my cup of tea. Next stop is the Oliveira Farm, located only 10 minutes away, where we will spend half an hour learning about the aloe vera plant and its many uses. This is papaya. This is my wife's favorite plant.
Okay, that is very bitter and it's a repulsive for the animals not to eat it. In fact. And cold is very important. Why? To keep all the properties, to keep the vitamins, for instance.
There is a small shop for all the aloe vera products, but don't worry, you don't have to buy anything. 8,000 aloe vera plants are arranged within a field of 10,000 square meters located next to the Barranco del Monteforte. What do you like about the plant, aloe?
I love it.
Why?
Because
It's delicious.
it's an amazing place.
Where are you going now?
Gomera. We've been to aloe vera plantation. They manufactured beautiful products for human system.
After this very informative tour and half an hour well spent, we are heading to the small village of Las Rosas for lunch in a local restaurant. The food was simple but delicious, and the locally produced red wine was quite good too. Now we are all ready for a demonstration of Silbo Gomero, the whistled language of the island.
Bottiglia di acqua minerale. Naturale. Esatto. Applauso. Bottle of red wine. Bottiglia di vino rosso. Applauso.
The Garajonay National Park is particularly outstanding. It's a prehistoric forest with a UNESCO World Heritage designation. Unique in the world, the highlights of the Garajonay National Park is its laurel forest, a green mass of prehistoric vegetation unique to the Macaronesian region. It covered the tropics millions of years ago and now survives in La Gomera thanks to its exceptional temperate climate. The place is called La Laguna Grande and has a playground, barbecue area and few hiking trails start from here. Also there's a stone you can touch for good luck, they say. We had no luck with the weather though. Some nice barbecues. I don't think we have a barbecue weather though. Look at that. And it's so sunny down on the beach. And here's probably 5 degrees. It's getting worse. So I think I'll go back to the bus. Rain now. Rain in Canaries. That's rare. The prehistoric forest is absolutely stunning, and we will definitely come back for a hike some other time. But for now, let's hit the road again. Christopher Columbus made La Gomera his last port of call before crossing the Atlantic in 1492, before heading to India but arrived in America instead. He stopped here for food and water supplies. Columbus again provisioned his ships at the port of San Sebastián de La Gomera in 1493 on his second journey to the New World, and in 1498 for the last time on his last travel to the Americas. We are now back in San Sebastian for a last stroll before boarding the ferry to Tenerife. Torre del Conde is the best preserved medieval fortification of the Canary Islands, erected around 1470. Church Iglesia de la Asunción is also worth visiting. Columbus and his men supposedly prayed at this church before setting off for the New World. The 18th century church here today mixes 3 different architectural styles. The charming small town of San Sebastian has less than 9,000 inhabitants and the crowds are not present. It's peaceful and quiet. And what is better than finishing a lovely day in a local cafe, enjoying a barraquito, a 4-layered explosion of taste and color.